everybody, and welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. I want to welcome my fans from Instagram that are seeing me live early today, my Facebook and YouTube fans, and WSNR 620 AM radio, WNEW FM HD3, and WPVID in Florida. It's going to be an interesting show today because you know what we're going to talk about, everybody. We're going to be talking about the great debate. I don't know what you guys learned yesterday. We're all grown people, but we're going to talk about it. I have a lot of comments on it. We're going to talk about New York City as well as our mayor and, of course, that ex-bad man governor, Cuomo, who thinks he's going to be running for mayor. But we have so many issues in this country, so many things in our city that we have to take care of, and that we're busy. If you would have listened to the debate yesterday, you would have seen that they didn't deal with the little people. That's us. That's me. They were just so busy with Ukraine and Israel, and which I'm very happy for. And we do have to be worried about the world. But what about the people on the streets? What about the people in my city right here that when the migrants are getting $18,000 a month and my people can't even get Section 8 to pay their rent and their people being evicted? I have to wait, if I'm a landlord, 2 years to evict somebody who didn't pay me rent, that if they were a migrant, they'd be able to pay me the rent. You have people that have on food stamps they're getting $200 maybe a month, or $300 or $500, while the migrants are getting $5,000. We're not dealing with the issues here. We're dealing with other issues that have nothing to do with us. Yes, we need a president that will budget us, that will keep us in safe and protect us, but we need him to be worried about us as well, and her. I did not like her at all, even though a lot of people came through for her side, for his side, and the points, and I'll bring them all up. But anyways, in the meantime, I want to give you a quote, serious quote. Don't get anything of, I'm sorry, let me start again. You don't get anything of value if you don't sacrifice. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something, not even me. And that's what I tell my children. Every day may not be a good day, but there's some good in every day. That's my quote. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do anything. You can. You can do anything you want to do. You can try, and even if you fail. I don't agree with failure. Everybody says, oh, you have to fail, you fail, you can do better. Why do you have to fail? Try not to. Try to practice. You know, I went to a speaking event yesterday, and I got up there. And it looked like I did it off the cuff. I didn't do it off the cuff. I did it straight out. I did it that it maybe looked like that, but I practiced. I knew what I was going to say. I prepared myself. That's what I do. And if I mess up, I mess up. Like I even messed up on the quote. I fixed that right away. And also every day, we know you're going to get into a bad days. We know that today the inspector is going to come. We know today you're going to court, maybe getting a divorce, or you're in child custody case, or you can't make the weekend pay. But there's good in every day. Try to find that good. Because if not, our lives will be miserable. I've had many, many bad days. Many, many terrible days. You know, when I started running for this election, people asked me, Heshy, why are you running again? Why are you playing this game? It's over. It's not over. It's never over. You have to continue fighting. You know, that one thing that they told me to try, you know, when I cut that first lock, I wasn't going to cut it. I would have stayed at home. I went out and I did something to make a change, to make my day better. And then it ended up into doing more things, into seeing that the city is being controlled by these crazies, by a guy by the name of Bill Gates, who's telling us that the pandemic is coming back again. And if not, there'll be World War III. Is that what we're busy with, scaring our people that we're going to die of pandemic? Andrew Cuomo says 1.2 million people died in New York City alone from the pandemic. Completely false. Governor Hochul now is being subpoenaed because she's holding back the nursing home numbers. Something that we have to go after them. Anyways, I want to do my joke. And this is a funny joke. My granddaughter, 5-year-old, first I didn't do my shout-outs. I want to shout out to my beautiful Mira Nava and my granddaughter Layla Tamar and my grandson Binyamin Hillel. Sergeant Peter and Ellie, don't forget you. I never do. And, of course, my other grandson, Yeshua, and my new granddaughter, Ahuva. But, of course, the big shout-out goes to the wedding that I made, which I'm going to tell you about, a big wedding. I invited all of you. We had about 1,000 people come through the night. We had a running schmorg, so if you didn't have a seat to sit, you were able to go to the schmorg and eat, and everybody had a place to sit. And we had people coming and going, and it was beautiful, and Linda looked great. Costed me a lot of money, but Linda looked great. The in-laws didn't fight too much. No, I'm joking. And my they stole my confetti poppers because they didn't want me to make a mess. But I ended up getting a little upset, and they ended up giving it back to me. We blew confetti all over the place. And I, of course, announced. So my big shout-out is to my youngest son who just got married, Yaakov, and his beautiful new wife, Rayleigh. Welcome to the family, Rayleigh. And I had a great night. I wish you all would have come. It was really nice. And some of my fans did show up. Some politicians did show up. Some rabbis did show up. But we had a lot of friends and family. And a lot of my family didn't show up, which is good. But we had a lot of friends. And I was so happy that night. And I wish you would have come, but if not, I knew you all had good spirits, and I got a lot of text messages and congratulations. Here's my joke of the day. My little granddaughter, Mira, comes over. We're sitting down, and we're having breakfast. And we ask her, what does she want for breakfast? She said she wants soup. I said, soup? Soup is for lunch. I said, so now what do you want instead? She says, now I want lunch. I thought that was funny. You know? Even the laugh track went off finally. That's good. Linda broke her leg, and we had to go for a surgery for the thing. She didn't go, whatever. So when we went to the hospital to check her out, they put a bracelet on her. And Linda said, I hope this bracelet is going to have ruby and diamonds on it. And the nurse says, well, it's going to cost just as much. Please laugh at that. You know what? The producer likes me this week. He actually laughed at my jokes. That was good. I'm going to start with a commercial for Green Line Building Solutions and Green Line Building Compliance. I've been helping people fight the city. They're coming after us left and right. They're going into people's homes that have been there since 1909. I was checking up iCards. They're violating people that have their buildings that were converted in the 1930s or 40s. And they're just coming up with violations, and the judges are coming after us. You need somebody to defend you. And, of course, when I get to city council, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to try to knock out all these crazy judges and rules and so on. But Green Line Building Compliance, you have a problem, you call me. Your ticket's going to vacate, call me, I'll vacate the motion or default. Call me, I'll try to fight and see what I can mitigate for you. 718-871-0382, 202 Foster Avenue, 718-871-0382, or 202 Foster Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11230. We have parking in the back. Come down, call me. Yesterday I had a guy call me for half an hour. What do I owe you? I said, you don't know. We do speak to you. We do give you advice. We don't charge you for consultation. You need me. You need my services. You don't. And that's what I do. Green Line Building Compliance, I'm very good. We're very good at what we do, and we try not to fail. My next ad is for HeshyTishla.com. I am now in the lead. I do have money. I'm still about $17,000 short. I need money. I know I'm not supposed to ask, oh, Heshy is super duper rich. Listen to me, guys. They have rules. You know, you fill out a piece of paper, they can deny. They denied 15 of my donations before, a couple of weeks ago, because they said the letter Y on the first name didn't match, or the address of his credit card didn't match. And I'm doing everything by credit card. No papers, no signing, so I don't want no false submissions that they're going to come after you. They even fined me this week $718 because all the paperwork I gave in on the last campaign, they wanted a particular statement. I said, but I gave you the printouts that the PayPal collected. No, it wasn't in the format we want. You understand that? And because it's not in the format, we couldn't understand it. Campaign Finance Board couldn't understand it. They're just looking to get me and try to get me in trouble, and of course I'm going to pay it. I'm going to try to fight it at first. This is what your city has come to instead of the crime, instead of the, migrant crimes are up in New York City. Crazy. That's what it is. 30% of crime that has risen is migrants' crime. And the gangs are taking advantage of it in the Bronx because, hey, we're too busy with the migrants. So they're getting away with crime and rape and robbery and controlling our projects. What should I tell you? And I understand Mayor Adams is under a lot of problems. He's a big supporter of the Jewish people in Israel, but he's under problems due to investigations and the police. And we see the corruption. The corruption is not just happening now. It's happened in the past. But we let them get away with it, and we elect those people. But we're so busy with Miss Harris telling us that Trump was arrested. Arrested for what? 34 counts she comes up with. Miss Harris, he was arrested for giving $105,000 without telling somebody of his own money that he did not steal. Hush money. That's not a crime. 34 counts based on one little thing that happened? That's what she was busy with. She didn't know anything about how to stop the war in Ukraine. Yeah, we're going to shove them another $250 billion. And like Trump said, why isn't Europe chipping in? Europe is $150 billion behind. Why don't you give Trump a shot to finish it? Why don't you hire Trump as an ambassador? Hey, he's a big talker. Let him go speak to Zelensky and Putin. Maybe he could stop it. He claims that when he gets elected, before he even takes office, he's going to stop the war. I believe him. She says, oh, Palestine and Gaza and the Israel war, we need a two-state solution. That's it. We had a two-state solution. We didn't have actually agreed to it, but they had their own places. All they had to do was run their country properly. Make a deal, build a new canal with Israel. They would have given it to them. But constant terrorist attack. It's like you're putting the Black Lives Matter in charge of the country. That's what you did with Hamas. They killed 6 innocent hostages and shot them in the back of the head. Just answer me that. Forget the 1,200 they killed on October the 7th, which the anniversary is coming up. And today we know is September 11th, the anniversary of how the terrorists killed us. I don't forget what they did to us. I don't forget what they did to my friends and my friend in the synagogue and my neighbor. They killed us. They came into our territory, into our home. We let them get away with it. Yeah, we went back, we blew up Afghanistan, Iraq, we killed Hussein. We didn't really get anybody right. It was Iran. Like Trump said, under the Trump administration, Iran had no money. Once Biden took over, they gave him $300 billion. $300 billion. Of course you can pay for terrorists. But let me tell you about crime in the last 6 months. Crime has gone up by 21.1% in murders. I'm going to keep going. Larceny, 9.4%. Auto theft, 8.8%. Burglaries, what is it over here? 11%. 2.7% in major crimes. Do I have to keep going? You're dropping crime. Crime is great. Show it to me. Keep your doors open. Police are so hard when you call them to come. They're busy with the 311 calls. They teach us how to rat on our neighbor. The other day, I'm helping 2 neighbors. They're fighting with each other. And they're calling 311. Every day an inspector comes. Every day they're trying to write a violation. Yesterday, they were each spraying water on each other through their fence. The cops came and said, well, you both sprayed water on each other. Because they figured 311 would take care of the problem. We need to stop this ratting. We need to stop people telling us we double parked our cars. I'm unloading my mother from the car, my father from the car. You get a ticket right away. You know, in Borough Park, we have like 30 streets closed. Why aren't you having the traffic officers move traffic around? These guys don't know how to run traffic, those little workmen there. And you're closing all these blocks, no communications with the DOT. I don't know, my dear friends. I complain because we need a change. And I'm going to be one of those guys who makes that change. So HeshyTishler.com, don't forget that. And now for my favorite ad. It's called the Estate Exchange. I told you he helped me buy a beautiful a necklace for Linda. And Linda wore it at the wedding. She looked super spectacular. Forget in the outfit and the way my daughter-in-laws did the hair and the makeup for her. She looked classy. I didn't even recognize her. I thought maybe I would marry her again. But then I knew better. I said, no. Once was enough. No, but I love you, Linda. And you look super fabulous. The bride looked great. Everybody was dressed nice. I went in a regular suit and tie. We don't wear tuxes, but we all had to wear black ties. And it was really a nice wedding. So this guy from the estate exchange, fine jewelry, rare estate pieces. He's a specialist in the exchange of fine materials. He's located at 5303 12th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. His website is www.nyc-gold.com, www.nyc-gold.com, nyc-gold.com. His phone number is 917-721-0119. Last week I didn't have it. 917-721-0119. It's on my screen, and for you Instagram people, he's great. I'm telling you, the prices are wonderful. I even bumped into the lady that was in the store that saw us buying it, and she says, I was the guy a girl who told you that to get it for your wife. How did you like it? I said she loved it. It's wonderful. And Linda's wearing it, and I hope nobody grabs it off her neck. I told her to put it in the safe, but whatever. We need to fix our city. We need to start here. We need to. Yes, you all have to go to the presidential debate. Miss Harris, Vice President Harris says, President Trump was fired by 81 million Americans. He had the most votes ever by a sitting president of 75 million Americans. I don't know where the other side got 81 million. We're seeing now coming out voter fraud all over the place. I don't know if there was 6 million voter fraud, but it's possible. And she was busy with January 6th, that he incited a riot. Come on, we all hear that he didn't incite the riot. You went after him on Russian collusion. She says, "Oh, he was thrown out of office." You know what I mean? He was impeached. He was not impeached. Of course, you have 50 of your enemies or 300 of your enemies impeaching you. The people did not impeach him. He was indicted, and you found not guilty, and still he's appealing his cases. The great debate. How great was Harris? Let me tell you something. She's a flip-flopper. She wants guns for people. She wants to take away all the guns for people. She says the economy is better. Really? Are you better off 4 years ago with eggs at $5, milk at $4? I don't even want to talk about gas and oil. You know all our prices are higher. You know the economy is in trouble. You know unemployment. They made up job numbers that are fake. It's not better than 4 years ago. Then she blames the pandemic on Trump, Trump did rush the vaccine, which I'm not into. And they could have worked on it a little bit more, but they made everybody crazy, and you really didn't need the vaccine, and he shouldn't have listened to Fauci. Fauci was a bad man and is a bad man, and he's making money still. He should be in jail, just like Cuomo. They should be in jail. And you're going to even think about letting Cuomo run for office? I want to tell you, they had Cuomo at some kind of a subpoena. He went to a committee, and they called Cuomo. Listen to this one, you're going to like this. They called him while he was sitting there, and he swore in, and he was talking about how the whole city and country was watching him. You locked us in our houses. We couldn't go out, and if we went out, we went to jail. Or we got fined or ticketed. So what were we going to do? Sit at home and watch TV? We were waiting for a report for you to release us from our jail. 3 months. One of the people branded him a lying sack of, I don't want to say the SHIT word. Furious families, lawmakers, repeated that he killed people in the nursing homes. It is a lying pack of SHIT. Cuomo was a bad man, and I'm one of the guys who got rid of him. We can't go backwards. We must go forwards, people. We must stand up. We must scream. We must make the calls. We must try. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm here to run for office because I know what I did. I was pulled into this. I think it needs me. And everybody says to me, if you lose, I don't think I'm going to lose this time. I think I'm prepared, well prepared. I've learned the game of lies. I've learned how the politicians play. They call me now. I'm ready for the game. I don't want to play a game. I thought I'd get up there, tell the people the truth, and tell you elect me. Like Trump and Harris yesterday. Trump got out there. He looked great. Harris looked terrible with her makeup and stuff. At least she shook his hand. Biden didn't do that. And there was a shouting match back and forth in a sense. We knew it. I mean, both sides don't even overlap each other at all. And I'm going to talk about some of their items. But here are two different people. And I remember watching afterwards the debate, some people saying, oh, I'm still not sure. Explain to me, even if you are for abortion, how do you abort a child that is in the 9th month? even the 8th month. I can understand the first 30 days. I can understand 90 days. Hey, there's no child formed. Even up to the first 6 months, because you're saying there's no brain or heart or whatever, didn't work out. But once that child is ready to come out and it just now has to grow and eat and is already completely formed, how do you abort that? Oh, women have a right to their own body. Correct. Take that day after pill. Go get your abortion in the beginning. I don't know. She's a flip-flopper on guns. She did nothing about drugs. No idea to do a border, like Trump says. Why didn't you fix the stuff the last 3.5 years? What are you waiting for now? You were vice president. She was the border czar. Like Trump says, go wake up Mr. Biden now. It's 4 p.m. He was making a joke how Biden's sleeping. Sign the bill. Close the borders. You could do that, Miss Harris. You could do that. Close the borders now. Take care of the millions and millions of migrants that are here. There's a town in Springfield, Ohio, that the 20,000 immigrants are sleeping on the streets. They have no control. Eating animals. I don't know if they're true if they're eating animals, but I'm sure something is going on. Or they're killing them. The moderators. Let's talk about, first of all, I want to tell you something. Taylor Swift is great billion-dollar singer who slept with everybody that moves, okay? Again, I don't have a problem that you're an entertainer and that's what your life is all about. She's endorsing Harris and we're going to listen to her. This dumbbell of a woman. Yes, she seems to be a smart businesswoman or good people around her, a great singer. She's going to tell me who to vote for? You're actually going to listen to her? Dick Cheney endorsing Trump. She says she has Liz Cheney, the daughter of Cheney. She was thrown out of office. They unvoted her. She went against her own party because she wanted to get high committee stuff when the Republicans weren't in power. That's what greedy people do. She gets her. She got. I don't know what Harris got, but all I know is her endorsements are all stupid. Everybody says she's ahead in the polls. I'm going to give you a prediction, and I'm hoping it's right. Trump is going to wipe the floor with her. You have those idiot Democrats come out, but if anybody knows anything about this country, most people did not pay attention to the debate. They wanted a good show. But no real policy changes came into effect. They didn't really talk about how to lower our taxes. Yes, Trump did say how he's going to put tariffs on other countries, how they're taking abuse of us, how he did make NATO pay their fair share, and if they don't, we cut them off. She says, no, we needed to protect the world, Harris. Protect what? You're not protecting Ukraine. You're making them fight their own battles. Why don't you put in a UN military or send NATO in there? You're scared of Putin. She's more scared of Putin than Trump. Israel, Hamas, United Nations talking. You have a 1 million-man army across this world. Put them into Gaza. You can't even make a peace deal, a ceasefire, and get back 100 hostages. Everybody talks and talks and talks, but they don't do anything. I'm not a foreign policy man. Of course, I have my opinions. I'm American. You know, on September 11th, I just want you to know there's videos going all around, so whatever I say is true now. The Palestinians and people in Muslim countries across the world, a lot of them celebrated the death of our 3,000 Americans when the World Trade Center came down. They burnt American flags in Gaza, in Palestine. They were happy we were killed. 3,000. You're happy when somebody's killed? You're happy when there's somebody death in war? We're all angry about the 40,000 Palestinians killed in Gaza. First of all, 20,000 of them are terrorists. Let's go right off the bat. The other ones were either helping the Palestinians or they were being used as shields or they were being paid to be shields. What about the 312,000 Russians that were killed during the war? Soldiers in Russia fighting it. You don't have that number down? What about the 400,000 Ukrainians? Nobody even understands that? Maybe even more. According to Mr. Trump, 1 million. So we don't have a problem with Ukraine because we don't really care. But we have a problem when it's a Jew fighting his enemy or being attacked to protect himself. We've come a long way in our country. I'm not letting you come after me. My father was a Holocaust survivor. And this great country, I'm going to make sure stays safe and clean. And my community, when I get elected, I'm going to set up a whole different system. I'm going to be fighting the red tape of this country. I'm going to be screaming and hollering. And I will continue to do so. A Peruvian illegal immigrant going through asylums was arrested after he impersonated an officer. Okay, here it gets worse. Trying to abduct a high school student in Virginia. I can tell you 3 or 4 more stories. They think they're living in their country in Peru or Brazil where they kidnap people, Gaza, and get away with it. This country, we don't let that. And we do have a lot of sex slave trading and children being kidnapped all the time. We do have people who do some bad things to children, and we have to help them. But you know what? When people serve their time, they should be watched. They should be guided. They should be helped with their rehabilitation. But again, Hoko leaves them in jail longer, so they get more crazier. She doesn't even have enough people on the parole board. Put some qualified people on that parole board. Don't release people that are guilty or have to go to sentencing beforehand like we're doing in New York City. Let them serve their time and get them out. Or let them out a little early if they show rehabilitation. What we're doing is we're letting them out before they even go serve their time. You know, with the transgender stuff, I just want to bring that up for a second. I was watching the TV. Can a man who's been transgendered to a woman have a period? The answer is no. They don't want to answer it. Can a man who is transgendered have a baby? The answer is no. They don't want to answer it. I saw this cute thing. World population today is 8,030,610,062. I don't know where they get the number. The people that were born from women were 8,030,610,062. People that were born from men are 0. You can fact check that, guys. 0 were born from men. Stupid. I want to go back to Bill Gates. Who is this guy? You know, his father was super duper rich. He stole Windows. He made it better. He helped us make our computers better. He's busy with another pandemic is coming up. We should be prepared now for another pandemic, right? Greatest country in the world, best healthcare. That first pandemic was a fake anyways. He says, if not, there'll be a world war. What does he want from us, man? What does he want? He doesn't have enough money? Run for president, Mr. Gates, if you have so much to do and say. By the way, we have the congestion pricing that's on hold right now. If Donald Trump comes to be president, he's going to kill it. And I always said congestion pricing is stupid. I don't mind tolls on bridges. I don't mind tolls if you go from state to state, they have to charge you. But I hate, I was going from Long Island, I was going from New York City to the wedding, and there's a toll right in the middle for a bridge. Okay, you have to maintain the bridge. But to have a toll in the middle of the city, to drive from one street to another street, ridiculous. Put the cameras to better use, to safety reasons. I was driving home the other night. I saw that the speed mileage was 25. And then in one place, my son said, slow down, it's 15. I said, I can't drive 15 miles an hour. It goes from 30 to 15, back to 25. I know I got a ticket. Another one. I think this is my 12th one this year. They make it impossible for you to get away with stuff. They're finding you, and they're not giving you services. New York City is the greatest city in the world. Why can't we bring in more tourists? Why can't we create income and help our people open up businesses? Why can't everybody be selling pot or nobody? I'll tell you why. Because they're just looking to get us to keep us down so they can control us. You're not controlling me. And when I get to city council, one of 51 members, I'm going to make sure that you're not controlling me, and I'm going to try to save a lot of you. The border czar and the war in Ukraine that Harris said. She was border czar. She couldn't answer. She couldn't answer why in Afghanistan we had people being killed when we went out. She again blamed it on Trump. Trump spoke to a Taliban. He made a deal. He threatened the Taliban, and she even said it, I'll blow up your house, I know where you live. But during that time period, nobody was attacked. He dealt with the government of Afghanistan. They couldn't get their act together. So he went and dealt with the Taliban. The Afghanistan government should have. They had so many years of our people. So many thousands of our soldiers died. Why couldn't Afghanistan be under control? America should have taken over control of the country, but we couldn't. We don't do that. We were just helping out. Terrorists. And you know what? Millions of those 11 million or 15 million migrants deported, really? Convicts are not in there. I'm talking serious convicts. Terrorists have not fallen through the cracks. President Trump says the other countries' crime is down because they're sending us all their criminals. I believe it. I mean, they're not even vetting our people who came here legally that had to vet and go through the system. Even the people that came here illegally that have been working here for years still had to put their acts together. These new migrants that are coming here illegally don't have to work. $18,000 a month. Why would you have to work? And it's our money. Who has the money? You have to know the system. You complain. I tried to get somebody on Section 8 the other day. I tried to get a special needs kids money, and we're going to have to wait 5 years to get paid. So they have to raise the money or go out and collect and beg for it. So they don't have food at the end of the week or cut the food. Or they won't have a shadow for the young man or the young girl. We care not about our own people. When the Bible so importantly says we have to be our brother's keeper. I have no problem you come to this country. Even if you come here illegally. But be vetted. Be checked. Go through the system. Speed the process up. I agree. The process of immigration is crazy. But you're not even fixing the system. You're not fixing the criminal justice system, putting people in jail. Some programs, yes, some programs not. Violent criminals with not violent criminals. Sex offenders with regular people so you can get raped. Most of the time you're going to jail. You're most likely going to be raped by a man or even if a woman's going to be raped. There's no system. Correction officers are scared for their own lives when they go there. We don't know how to budget. $119 billion in budget, and you see the corruption all over the place. We're too busy hiring private security now because our police don't do their job. You get into a car accident today, forget they used to show up 2-3 hours later. Why? I see half the police floating around, sitting on corners. I see those people giving out tickets, doing nothing. Why? Just send them to do a report. You have so many of them, send them to do a police report. It's just a report telling you their license numbers and the accident happened. It's not too complicated. You want to send social workers with police officers to do hostage negotiations. And you won't send a guy who writes tickets just to write up a police report? Harris, Vice President Harris, is trying to portray herself as a new generation of leader. Middle-class family, a minority. If you saw her as a prosecutor, she was terrible. Okay? And Donald Trump, you're right, he came from a rich father. Okay, but he struggled, he worked. He gave thousands and thousands of people jobs. Billions and billions of dollars were thrown into the economy. She's so busy with his bankruptcies. He made billions and billions of dollars for this country. He gave thousands and thousands of people jobs and homes and charity. Look at her record. Nothing. Even while she's a vice president, she couldn't defend herself on half of the policies. She couldn't defend herself on Haitians. She couldn't defend herself in the debate. The moderators were helping her out. I mean, come on, look at that. It was not 1-to-1 Harris against Trump. It was 3 against 1. Just like Trump said, the two moderators, you saw that it was biased. Nobody said anything about it. I don't know. The debate is a perfect example of a phrase. It's not the win, but the spin. It's not how you win the game, it's how you spin the game. And that's what they were doing. Trump was confident. He stood there. He was a great debater. And Harris was really, she was practiced. She was primed. But you saw her answers. All practiced answers, nothing straight out. Yeah, the abortion thing from the heart, a woman. I didn't change my mind from Trump to Harris. Not that I'm prejudiced. Not at all. What I'm telling you is that she does not show me she can lead this country. She does not show me that she can make changes to this country. Excuse me, I mean, it's still bothering me here. But she did not show me that she can make changes to this country. I don't think she can be commander in chief. She's busy with his army, and people are all the soldiers saying that he's a crazy commander since he's been out of office. He talks crazy? I don't think he talks crazy. He tells you the way it is. You can't deal with it. Don't deal with it. I mean, let's be honest. He's telling you the way it is. I believe Trump won on the immigration argument. He should have said that the immigration wasn't his issue, because it wasn't. He had the borders closed and he was building fences. Trump's best attacking was when he attacked her on the Afghanistan withdrawal. She couldn't defend that. Forget the migrant stuff, which I just said that. But Harris just, she did pretty good, defended herself somewhat on the abortion and women's health, but so did Trump. That's an issue that we have to deal with. We have to come up with a compromise. You know, Donald Trump was saying Harris wants to make a unified healthcare system across the country. Won't work. So is Trump. But Trump is saying he has to leave Obamacare in place, and he made it better temporarily till they come up with a new one. And he's working on ideas. You can't shut down the old one until you have a new one in place. I'd love to see the unified, like Europe. I want to see healthcare be good like Canada. I want to make sure that if my wife or child gets sick, that we have the proper healthcare. And when we need an operation, we get it. We don't have to wait 6 months for it. I don't want, if we need shots or vaccines, that we have no issues getting it. I mean, during the pandemic, they didn't have enough vaccines, and then they forced us to get vaccines. They're still pushing this vaccine. And people are dying and getting autism and so on. Go ahead, give us some more tests at least. Give us some more results. I believe, again, I'm going to reiterate, that it's a good thing that the majority of Americans vote on issues that are important to them rather than by the political operatives. Policy issues such as inflation, border security, men participating in women's sports, and energy independence. Do you believe that we're even discussing that men could compete in women's sports? I mean, we're making it a law now. I don't have a problem with a woman competing against a man. But you're making a law that he's allowed to do that? Because he changed his gender? He's still a man. Bottom line, man is a man, woman is a woman. You want to change your gender? Good, you're now transgender. But you're not a woman. You were not born a woman. Maybe you feel like a woman. Good. I don't have no problem with the gay population, LGBTQ, but don't teach it to my children. Keep your opinions to yourself. And on the issue of inflation, wow. No inflation, Ms. Harris? You've destroyed this economy. Your own Fed chairman is telling how high inflation is, and we're trying to get it under control. And energy independence. They closed our oil pipeline, a great pipeline, right away when Biden came into office. They allowed Russia to build one of the biggest pipelines through Europe. So they make the money, we don't. She says that she doesn't want fracking. Now she wants fracking. I have no problem with fracking. Fracking is we have so much energy and gas that we can help ourselves. They're so busy with the Green Deal, I don't get it. Show me. It's already, 4 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later? You're worried about 100 years from now, you have no proof what's happening. I see the winters, the summers, nothing changes. A degree up more, a degree down more. I don't know. We keep spinning. You keep believing it. Bottom line is, I'm not here to pitch Donald Trump or Ms. Harris, but I am voting for Donald Trump. And I'm telling you, as a lifelong Democrat that has turned Republican, that's the truth. But again, the Republicans themselves fight within each other. My own party here in Brooklyn, our Republican chairman, just lies and lies and lies with Sheba Simeon. And I'm talking to you, and I like you. I hired a lawyer last year to help represent me. And right when he came on board, he asked for all my documents and paperwork. And I gave it to him. Calls me up a week later. I'm sorry, my partner doesn't let me represent you because we have another candidate and it might conflict. I said, what conflict? Are you representing my opponent? He says, no, but it's in another district. Then I see him in a meeting with Richie Bar-Simeon. I said, you took all my documents. You should have asked me this. You should have known this better. I know right now from inside sources that they told him not to represent me. They went against me. They gave the Democrat, the Wilson Pakula, to run against me. They helped him collect signatures. Republican Party, New York City, zero, worthless. So by me going in as a Republican, I am a Republican. I believe in the Republican ideals. But being a representative of their party might not work for me. I might have to go in as a Democrat just so I could be able to be part of the system. But I won't be a Democrat because I have my own ideals. Can't go in as an independent because then I get nothing to help my city. And I want to fight and help this city, not just scream and holler. Let's go to our city issues. Our commissioner, his brother is doing something bad. Commissioner's under investigation. He has to resign. The mayor's head chief of staff, some old person, older people that work for him, working for the Communist Party, they say. I mean, these are accusations. The mayor himself says the sexual harassment charges should be dismissed against me due to that the woman did not act properly. I mean, I like the mayor, but you're able to dismiss these cases, but against Trump, you're not able to dismiss it. You keep recharging him and recharging him. He didn't do no election fraud. He didn't submit any ballots wrong. He told him to go find the votes. He didn't go tell him to make them up. He says, go back out and find the votes. He had no election interfering. He told the vice president, I don't think you're right to vote her in. And again, it was the vice president's job to do the next president. It wasn't the president's job. And it's the president's job to turn over peacefully the power. And he did do that. And still, we're going after him. The transfer of power was peaceful. The election we accepted, even though Trump says it was wrong. The moderator says, oh, Mr. Trump, now you admit that you lost by a whisker. Trump said, no, I was sarcastic. And then the guy said, well, I looked back on the videos, it didn't sound sarcastic. This is not how a moderator has to act. Ask your question, it's a debate. The two fight with each other. Ask your question correctly. Fact-checking. All I know is that Harris was weak on specifics and she was always trying to sound happy. She never really answered any of the questions. She never really answered it. She changed positions numerous times, such as fracking, I love Israel. You really love Israel, Miss Harris? Is that true? You really love Israel? Well, let me tell you something. Why didn't you meet Netanyahu? A head of state. Okay, you don't want to meet the head of state in your office. He comes to the Congress to speak to the country. You're the one that's missing, and you know where she went? To a sorority event. That's what was important to you, Miss Vice President? I mean, the war, you could have gone over to Netanyahu. Hey, man, stop. Back off. She didn't even go talk to him. My time is up, and I'm so happy you joined us. I'm happy that I had the show with all of you. I'm happy I was able to voice my opinion. I hope that you guys watch the debate, not so much to understand each of the candidates, to see that it's a joke. What they did was a comedy show. How many more minutes I got? Oh, 10 more minutes he wants me to go. So we're going to go 10 minutes. But you saw that the comedy show, it was a comedy show. That's all it was. I didn't get anything out of it. I still believe in Trump is good. I still believe Harris, I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm saying she's not competent. She's not qualified. I don't care that she was a senator. I don't care that she was a prosecutor. What I see from her is she's not qualified to run the greatest country in the world. Trillions of dollars that are going to be going through her hand. She has no experience whatsoever. And the 4 years of experience as vice president, really? Again, her administration did not make a change. We are not better off. I I'd like to, again, do a few commercials before we end the show. Very important, because I do want to bring up my Green Line building compliance. Again, this city has lots and lots of issues. So I want you, whatever, you're going to see it on your YouTube screen, but not your Instagram. But again, write down these numbers: 718-871-0382. 718-871-0382. Green Line Building Compliance, if he ever puts it on the screen. We help you with your issues, but it's not only your issues of building department and violations and court cases. I listen to you. I can advise you on, not advise you. I can recommend you a good criminal lawyer if something happens. I help with issues with the jail. I help with people that are going to jail to see how they could get things done. I'm good with paperwork on Section 8 and HPD. I know how to recommend you or send you to the right place. Green Line Building Compliance, 718-871-0382. We help you with any building needs, your violations, your plans. I have 3 architects, 4 expediters, 2 lawyers working for us full-time, and we're a very nice boutique firm. Then, of course, HeshyTishler.com. Very, very important. HeshyTishler.com is my website. I could use donations. I'm very serious. $10, $20, $25. Send it in. I'm almost there. There's no competitors. What I understand is that the competitors are ready to come in right after the Jewish holidays or maybe after the November election with Mr. Felder. Okay? And Mr. Felder, you're not competent. You're out of it. I'm not saying you're much older than me. You're 67 years old. I'm 60 years old. But I'm with the program. You're moving slow. You haven't accomplished anything in 3-4 years. I've done more than you as an independent person. He shows up at a soup when we were giving out free food. He lifted 1 package. I do it every week. I raise money every week. That's what I do every single week. I hate when they do it for the show. I hate when they do it. I hate when they play the game. And I just hate when they make believe that they're part of the system when they sit in their offices, do nothing. And finally, their estate exchange. Fine jewelry, rare estate pieces. He's a very nice man, Yitzchak, wonderful owner. Fine jewelry, rare and estate pieces, specialists in the exchange of fine materials. Located at 5303 12th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. His website is www.nyc-gold.com, www.nyc-gold.com, 917-721-0119, 917-721-0119. As I end the show, my final piece of advice to you is, right away the Harris campaign said, we're going to have another debate. Or they want another debate. Why? What don't you know from the first debate? What will be different on the other debate? You now know your opponent's weaknesses? Trump wanted another debate with Biden. He didn't get it. He was supposed to. He didn't get it. My point to you is that we don't need another debate, another comedy show. Wherever I was going, you're watching debate tonight? You're going to laugh at him? Trump is going to say this? We all knew everything coming out of both their mouths. And basically, nothing came out. Yes, even Trump, he reiterated all of his stuff. We knew all of this. The one final point I'm going to make to you, Harris said, people leave Trump's rallies. He has thousands and thousands of people that come up. Sure, some people are going to go home early because it's hard. Harris has no rallies. And when she has a rally, she has, a couple of hundred people? Really? That's what you brought up? That's the game you played? She just was, instead of doing policies, knocking. And Mr. Trump was right. He didn't call her any bad names, which is pretty good, He should have, but he never did. So I'm telling you now, go out on election day. This is very serious. There's hundreds of millions of Americans that are going out to vote. Hundreds of millions of Americans. And I'm telling you now, and you see this, every single vote counts. Early voting, mail-in ballots are happening now. There's going to be cheating. I'm hoping they're watching this. Go out and vote. Every single vote counts. Anyways, thank you for watching my show. Thank you for joining me again. Come back next week. I wish you all came to my wedding. We had a great time. Watch my show. Listen to my music. Here we go, my friends. Thank you so much. and come back next week, Wednesday. Thank you.